Let me call this Village Board meeting to order on Tuesday, January 3, 2023. And just since this is our first meeting of the new year, just express my feelings that we wish you all a very prosperous and healthy and happy new year in 2023. And we hope that you had a very safe and happy holiday season. So with that, let me just ask the clerk to call. I'm all screwed up today. Let's all please rise and join and recite the Pledge of Allegiance.
Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now would the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Canty?
Here.
Trustee Grasse?
Here.
Trustee Scaletta?
Here.
Trustee Baldino?
Here.
Trustee LaBedz?
Here.
Trustee Bertucci?
Here.
Trustee Schwingbeck?
Here.
Trustee Tinaglia?
Here.
President Hayes?
Here. First item on the agenda is the approval of minutes, and we have 3 sets to approve tonight. The first is from the Committee of the Whole meeting from November 14, 2022. Any changes or passes?
Move approval?
Second.
Motion to approve by Trustee LaBedz, seconded by Trustee Baldino. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next are the Committee of the Whole meeting minutes from November 16, 2022. Any changes or passes?
Move approval. Second.
Motion to approve by Trustee Scaletta, seconded by Trustee Schwingbeck. Any questions or comments from the board or the audience? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And finally, our Village Board meeting minutes from December 5, 2022. Any changes or passes?
I move to approve the village board meetings from December 5th, 2022. Second.
Motion by Trustee Grasse, seconded by Trustee LaBedz. Any questions or comments from the board or from the audience? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Next, we move on to the approval of the accounts payable, and I call on Trustee Bertucci.
I'll move approval first of the warrant register for the check dated 12/15/2022 in the amount of $1,469,635.46.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Bertucci, seconded by Trustee Scaletta. Any questions or comments from the board or from the audience? Seeing none, roll call.
Trustee Bertucci?
Yes.
Trustee Scaletta?
Yes.
Trustee Tinaglia?
Yes.
Trustee Schwingbeck?
Yes.
Trustee Grasse?
Yes.
Trustee Baldino?
Yes.
Trustee LaBedz?
Yes.
Trustee Canty?
Yes.
President Hayes?
Yes. You did both of them, right? Yeah.
Nope.
Well, I did them separately. We'll need to call them.
Okay. Then the second motion?
Move approval of the warrant register for the check dated 12/30/2022 in the amount of $1,628,662.31.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Bertucci, seconded by Trustee Schwingbeck. Any questions or comments from the board? Anything from the audience? Seeing none, roll call.
Trustee Bertucci?
Yes.
Trustee Schwingbeck?
Yes.
Trustee Scaletta?
Yes.
Trustee LaBedz?
Yes.
Trustee Grasse?
Yes.
Trustee Canty?
Yes.
Trustee Baldino?
Yes.
Trustee Tinaglia?
Yes.
President Hayes?
Yes. Move on then to citizens to be heard. There being no recognitions or presentations. Anyone in the audience wish to address the board on an item not on the agenda? Seeing none, we'd move on then to old business, and there is also none. So we move on to the consent agenda. Any members of the board wish to remove an item on the consent agenda? Any members of the audience wish to remove an item on the consent agenda? Melissa?
Melissa Kerr speaking. Consent legal. C. Flock Safety LPR.
Okay, that shall be removed. And we'll take that under legal. Anyone else in the audience? Seeing none, come back to the board. Any members of the board wish to vote no or pass on any remaining items on the consent agenda? If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve the remaining items.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Baldino, seconded by Trustee LaBedz. Roll call.
Trustee Baldino?
Yes.
Trustee LaBedz?
Yes.
Trustee Schwingbeck?
Yes.
Trustee Grasse?
Yes.
Trustee Bertucci?
Yes.
Trustee Tinaglia?
Yes.
Trustee Scaletta?
Yes.
Trustee Canty?
Yes.
President Hayes?
Yes. There is no new business, and so we'll move on then to legal. And we do have some very good news to report. And with that, I'll call on our village manager, Randy RECKLAUS.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm very happy to report that we have reached an agreement with our Firefighter Association Local 3105 for a 3-year contract beginning January 1st of this year. Process, as always, went very smoothly, and we're very happy to recommend approval of this agreement.
All right, thank you, Mr. RECKLAUS. We do have representatives from both the Local 3105 and as well as the chief here. And so, guys, would you like to make any comments? Thanks for coming,
Good
Steve.
evening, sure. For the record, I'm Steve Schwartz. For those of you who don't know me or the thousands that are watching at home, I'm Steve Schwartz, proud president of Local 3105. We've been very fortunate to have a excellent working relationship, not only with our village administration, but the fire administration as well. And that only comes from having mutual trust and respect. So I want to thank Randy and his staff for nurturing that over the years, and be sure to pass that on to the staff that's not here as a negotiating team as well. We did this negotiation without any lawyers present. We did it in about a day and a half, so that speaks volumes to where we're at as a relationship. So thank you very much. Happy New Year. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. You too.
Thank you, Steve.
Chief, anything?
Good evening, everyone. I wasn't directly involved in the negotiations as Deputy Chief Hanselman and Division Chief Stroney did the negotiations, but I was informed each day. But I want to just pass on to you that I've been doing this a long time, and the local, from President Schwartz to Trustee Simon and Moran, have been the utmost professional local that I've ever worked with, and I think he hit the nail on the head. The support that you give us, the support that the village gives them, and the support that I try and provide them, we've earned their trust. And I can tell you, talking to the fire chiefs on a monthly basis, nobody settles their contracts in a day and a half of negotiations. So I think that speaks volumes. I thank each and every one of you for supporting us. And Diana, thank you so much, and Mary for being a part of the village's team to make this happen, because it couldn't have went any smoother, and I'm proud of everybody. So thank you.
Well, thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Mr. RECKLAUS.
I was just going to acknowledge that the assistant manager, Nicolle, serves as our lead negotiator, and as always, did a tremendous job this go around as well. And as the chief said, this is very much a result of the trust that's been built between all the players over a long period of time. And as Chief Harris said, this is not like this everywhere. So.
Well, I can't say it any better than all of you just said, and so I won't try to, but I just wanted to extend my personal thanks, as well as the thanks of the entire village board and all the community residents that we represent, for all the great work that the men and women of our fire department do on a daily basis to keep us safe. But this is just another reflection of the professionalism of our fire department and everyone involved, and the great teamwork that we exhibit here in the village, and not just the fire department, but throughout our organization. And so I can't thank you all enough for your efforts, not only in this specific instance, but again, in keeping us safe on a daily basis. So thank you. Any other comments from the board? Trustee Scaletta.
Thank you. You know, I wanted to express my personal gratitude to the members of the local and how they embrace training and take everything so seriously. It's been a privilege that I've been able to watch some of the training, number one, and number two, they take their health so seriously, and watching them train to try and get off all the carcinogens and everything, and how serious they take it when it's, you know, I'll put it in quotes, just training. They're there as if there's an emergency happening, and they're training in full force. So thank you. It's just, it's great to see, and please extend my thanks to the men and women of the fire department.
Other comments? All right, enough said. Thank you both for, again, all that you do for our community. All right, if nothing further then on that item, we'll move to the removed legal item, and that's the flock.
Here, we need to vote on it.
We do have to approve it. I'm sorry. Thank you all. I'm all discombobulated tonight, sorry. It's a new year.
May I make a
We
motion,
do need
Mayor?
a motion. Trustee Scaletta.
Thank you, Mayor. I would move to approve the ordinance agreement between the Firefighters Association Local 3105 IAFF for the 2023 through 2025 with the Village of Arlington Heights.
Second.
Motion by trustee Scaletta, seconded, who did the trustee? Trustee Canty. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I'm sorry, it's an ordinance. I screwed up again. Didn't I, Mr. Passman? All right, that's 3 strikes. And I'm out.
All right, Robin, you're in charge. Drop third strike, get another pitch.
All right. We do need to take a roll call.
Trustee Scaletta.
Yes.
Trustee Canty.
Yes.
Trustee Baldino.
Yes.
Trustee Bertucci.
Yes.
Trustee LaBedz.
Yes.
Trustee Schwingbeck.
Yes.
Trustee Grasse.
Yes.
Trustee Tinaglia.
Yes.
President Hayes.
Yes. Well, I'm glad there's very few people in the audience here tonight. Hopefully nobody's watching at home. All right, now we will take up the legal item that was removed. That's the flock safety LPR. Mr. RECKLAUS.
Thank you, Mayor. So we've, as you all know, for a number of years, we've been using license plate readers on squad cars. And what they do is it's a camera system that's attached to the vehicle where it will be reading license plates and looking at comparing those to a database in real time as police officers drive through town. We use it for parking enforcement, but sworn officers also use it, and it helps identify stolen vehicles, individuals who may be wanted on a warrant, and other issues. It's been very much a successful practice, but it's very much dependent on kind of the happenstance of where an officer is. And so one thing that's been expanding throughout the area is the use of fixed license plate reader devices. And we in our area is kind of currently a gap in this technology. You're seeing in other parts of the northwest suburbs and the North Shore. Law enforcement has seen very good results and very high clearance rates as a result of this. It's in what it does is when we have situations like we've had recently the increase in catalytic converter thefts and some of the break-ins, it's another tool for law enforcement to use both to catch those individuals, but also to deter them from coming to Arlington Heights and creating that network of information that can help prevent crimes from happening, catching individuals who engage in them, and then frankly also on the other side, exonerating individuals who did not. Because if someone has an alibi saying, well, no, I wasn't there, I was driving across this intersection, driving my kid to baseball practice, whatever, if they were, then it'll show up. And so this is something that we think is a very effective tool. This was in the capital improvement plan for this go-around. We are recommending approval of a 2-year contract with Flock Group. Flock is a subsidiary of Axon, which they are the ones who we buy both our vehicle cameras and our body-worn cameras. And so from a data management standpoint, it would be seamless to operate with this group, and they're very highly regarded in the industry. And so, again, we would recommend approval of the ordinance and agreement.
All right, thank you. Questions from the board?
I just did a comment.
Trustee Scaletta.
So, Mr. RECKLAUS and I spoke about this earlier today, and there's policies and procedures in place to make sure that the technology is only used at the appropriate times, number one.
Yes.
And number two, I think that there's been times that it's come up on this board, where we talk about us being a very long and narrow municipality, and access to 53 up on the north and the 90 on the south and even 53 on our west. And it makes me feel a little bit more comfortable that we'll have additional technology out there, in the event that a police officer isn't driving down the road at the exact time that maybe some offenders are fleeing our municipality. And it's just another good resource that that the police can use, and hopefully criminals are watching tonight, and will know that this is coming our way, and leave Arlington Heights alone because we're watching.
Any other questions or comments from the board? Melissa, does that address your concerns?
What are Miranda rights and how does the Village of Arlington Heights use them?
Well, it's a good question. I'm not sure it's applicable to this agenda item.
Right, I would not see a connection, but Miranda rights relate to when an arrest is made. Individuals have certain constitutional rights guaranteed by the Constitution that, in terms of right to remain silent, et cetera. And those are things that are applied upon an arrest of an individual by a sworn police officer.
Any other questions on the agenda item, Melissa? You got to come forward. Please make it relatable to the agenda item, if you would.
Melissa Kerr speaking. Should we put warnings all around Arlington Heights
For what?
for these cameras?
They're in a public space.
Then that would deter, then people would see that and they would not even come into Arlington Heights.
One of the things, Mayor, I would say is that, the exact location of these, we are not advertising because what we don't want is there are many more ways into Arlington Heights than the number of cameras we're purchasing, and we don't necessarily want individuals to be able to circumnavigate them if needed. If there's someone who's intent on doing harm, we also may be moving them. And so, in terms from a law enforcement perspective, it is not something that we were looking to do, other than the fact that they are generally and will be in place.
All right, at the Welcome to Arlington Heights signs, you should put the warnings up, and then people would avoid Arlington Heights altogether. That would save the police time. They wouldn't have to interrogate the license plate cameras that way. Plus, there are probably ways to obfuscate the license plates.
Okay, thanks, Melissa. Anybody else in the audience wish to address this agenda item? Seeing none, if nothing further from the board, I'd entertain a motion.
I'll move approval.
Second.
Motion to approve by trustee Tinaglia, seconded by trustee LaBedz. Any further questions from the board or the audience? If not, roll call.
Trustee Tinaglia.
Yes.
Trustee LaBedz.
Yes.
Trustee Baldino.
Yes.
Trustee Schwingbeck.
Yes.
Trustee Scaletta.
Yes.
Trustee Bertucci.
Yes.
Trustee Canty.
Yes.
Trustee Grasse.
Yes.
President Hayes.
Yes. Move on then to the report of the village manager. Mr. RECKLAUS, anything?
Nothing further this evening.
Okay. Anything from the board under petitions and communications? Well, I'm going to blame it all on the village manager's new beard. It was so distracting. I'm also going to wish a happy birthday in advance to trustee Rich Baldino. And with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn so I could go get my freshly baked cinnamon muffin.
To adjourn? Second.
Thank you. Motion to adjourn by trustee Baldino, seconded by trustee Schwingbeck. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Thank you all for joining us this evening.